I'm Tuesday Greenidge, the founder of Grenfell Memorial Quilt. It's to commemorate those 72 lives lost in the Grenfell Tower tragedy. For those of you that don't know, it was the biggest tragedy since World War II ever to happen in the UK. Because of building regulations, there were grave decisions made, and the cladding created an inferno which killed 72 people and left over 600 people homeless. I don't want to get too militant, but I'm seeking justice. We're sowing for justice, and we're not going to stop sowing until we do get justice, however long that takes. I mean, justice to means something different to every single person, but we're just wanting to bring awareness to the horrific tragedy that unfolded in front of our very eyes. My daughter was a survivor. Fortunately, she was only on the 4th floor. She came running around to me because I live on the corner of the next road. Mum, Grenfell's on fire. It was, I can't describe, I really can't describe. 5 years on, I'm still shocked. For 2 weeks, my daughter was aghast. Her face was in shock. This is why we do it every single waking day. You see, some of our crew here, community members. We're going to make this the biggest community fabric art project that we can possibly make, just to be seen, heard, because there is a struggle to get justice. I started it to represent the walls that became vigil sites around the tragedy at the time, around the community. There was amazing vigil sites that grew organically. People from all over the planet, I will say, came and left things that meant things to them. T-shirts, teddy bears, flowers, ornaments, candles, just amazing things. And over the weeks, because of the weather, lots of things became deteriorated. So I had the idea, because at the time I was actually making memory quilts for my grandchildren. So you'll see a lot of the teddy bears where we tried to represent the teddy bears that people left. We've had a lot of community groups join us over the last 5 years. We've created so far 6 12 square feet blocks of quilt, which is actually the width of Grenfell Tower, ironically, sadly, that it's 72 foot. Our aim is to reach the height of the tower, which is 220 foot. So we need to add to our army of sewers and quilters to help us achieve our goal. So in 5 years' time, on the 10th commemoration Remembrance Day, we hope to have the quilt 220 foot by 72 foot hanging from the tower. The quilts are created by using a jelly roll technique because it was economic to be able to reach 220 foot, the dimension of the tower. So a lot of people they call them scrap quilts. So we use a lot of scraps and we turn them into beautiful dedication pieces. It's all inclusive. I've used clothing on this piece, the silent walk piece, to represent what we do every month is a silent walk around the community. We all wear something green. On here there are actually pieces of my grandchildren. 2 pieces. One piece is he's 24, the shorts and the child, and my granddaughter, she's 23, she's wearing the bottom of the jeans on the father's shoulders. He was a man that I saw running from the mosque. I couldn't get his image out of my head for many years. Sewing him has helped me process the pain that I saw in that man's face. The little girl you see is holding him and representing like dads, big strong men do cry. We saw a lot of that, and that's what broke our hearts and continuously does. There was also a lot of clothing on almost every street corner because everybody from all over came in to support those in the tower. So I was given a lot, so there's some here. You know, I just picked the green pieces there on the silent walk piece. This other piece, which is the first piece, it's called Sewing Stardust. The first star that I sewed is to represent all the children. I was influenced by a lot of quilts all over the world. The biggest quilt, which was 25,000 feet, which is the quilt of culture in Portugal. The aids, the name quilts, and also slave quilts. I chose the star because slave quilts use subversive messages in their patterns. So I've chosen the star because that was to tell the slaves to head north to freedom. So I like to think their spirits are free now. We're all stardust, we're all made of stardust. So you'll see the stars replicated all through our motifs and designs. You'll notice that we use a lot of green. That was basically the Grenfell colour. Grenfell United chose that colour to represent everything to do with Grenfell. So you'll see it a lot across lots of community projects. Green hearts is a big motif that we all use now. So you'll see it replicated in the quilt. Here we've used it as a background to show off the 72 names that have been beautifully embroidered. We show the floors because you can clearly see that anybody below the 11th floor got out. A lot of people did get out from above, but a lot of people didn't. This piece is called Quiet. It's kind of like ecclesiastical. We've got like all sorts of faiths here. You know, it's all inclusive. You can write what you like. We've had people from Brazil send us in little flowers. We've had people from Belgium Sewing Group that sent us in little squares with messages on and patterns. When people send in names or dedications, we embroider them. So yeah, we're trying to be all inclusive because, like, if you look at the fabric, this represents our community, which is mixed. You know, it's multi-dimensional, multi-economical. Like I say, it's all been donated from all over. We've also got a lot of the green has been donated from John Lewis, so they support us. They supported us with a couple of sewing machines as well. So yeah, I speak to a lot of the bereaved and a lot of the survivors, and when they actually do see something here on the quilt, they're so grateful. They really are. It is just, it's very, very emotional. It really is. We have a sewing bee every Tuesday at North Kensington Library. So if anybody wants to come along or donate fabric, they can send it in to us or come along and join us. Sew on your dedication and let's grow the quilt to 220 foot.